What's up, guys? Drew here, and I'm doing a little throwback video today. Came across this old video I posted in 2019 pre-pandemic, and it was the pet peeves, my vintage pet peeves, things that annoyed me about the game. And yeah, I'm going to play it for you guys right now. I want to know if you think my pet peeves still hold up today. I mean, they're my pet peeves, so basically if I think they hold up or not. But also, do you guys want me to do an updated 2022 version of my vintage pet peeves? Because some of these are still valid, but there's definitely some new ones out there and some that aren't valid anymore. So have a watch. Let me know your 2022 pet peeves in the comments, and let me know if you want me to run my 2022 pet peeves video. Here we go.
That leads me into my first pet peeve. I post this shirt and I go to tag Divine Vintage, and there's like 100 Divine Vintages. I don't know which Divine Vintage it is. I don't remember. So I tag the wrong one. I go to tag it again. I tag the wrong one again. Goddamn Divine Vintage. I don't know. Sorry, man. I tagged you wrong. But come on, people. Make better Instagram names. Thrift God, Thrift Lord, Thrift Bin Dude, friggin' Thrift Come Up, Divine Vintage, Divine VTG, LA Vintage God Thrift. Okay, you gotta think of better names. You gotta be more unique. And leads me into my second pet peeve. If you're gonna make a vintage Instagram name that is the same as everybody else's, we gotta see your face on there. You can't hide behind Instagram. Instagram isn't like the mask that lets you like do whatever you want and tax big prices so no one knows who you are. Eventually everyone's gonna know who you are. You can't hide behind that shit. What's the whole point of marketing your vintage bids if nobody knows who you are? I guess people want to hide. They want to go to the thrift, and they don't want anyone to know that, like, not to call you out, Divine Vintage. Sorry. I mean, you're a good dude. You sent me this shirt. I'm just using you as an example on this. But, like, you know, if you're at the thrift and someone sees you and goes like, oh, that guy's like Thrift King 101, I'm going to go like I'm going to go like get the shit before he does. It's like, it ain't going to affect your life. It's not going to affect your life if people know who you are. I mean, the one thing I could see is that, like, if someone knows who you are and they know you're taxing crazy prices and you're trying to cop off them for the low, then yeah. So I can see why you want to remain anonymous for that fact. But that fact is another fucking pet peeve. If you're going to charge crazy prices and you're going to try to sell it on the if you're going to charge crazy high prices and then you're going to come in buying on the super low and try to grind people and tell them they're crazy for trying to sell it at something at that price, even though it's like so below wholesale and you're trying to charge stupid money for it, that shit's disrespectful. That shit is like bad business. It's not conducive to longevity in this business. You know, if you're selling a tee for $600 and you're trying to come in and pay someone like $30 for it, that shit is whack. If you know you're gonna get $600 for it, come up and pay some real money for this tee. I get it. If you go to the thrift store and you find a $1.99 tee that's worth $600, that's rad. You're not gonna go and pay the thrift store more money. That's their price. But if someone has a $200 price tag on a tee that you're gonna get $400 and you're trying to grind them down to $100, it's like, dude, come on, pay up. Don't be cheap. People, don't be cheap. Okay, that is hella annoying. Hella annoying. There's some people out there that do this. You know who you are. I'm just ranting on this one. I'm just calling people out. Not by your name, but you know who you are. Okay. So yeah, don't hide behind your Instagram. That shit's whack. Personal branding is super important. If you want to big yourself up, you got to personal brand your vintage thrift thing. Okay? Whatever it is. You should be personally branding it. Don't hide behind your Instagram. People want to see you just as much as they want to see the t-shirts. If they're going to buy something from someone, they want to know who they're dealing with. They want to know, like, the face behind that. It creates personal relationships seeing who they're dealing with. So don't hide behind your Instagram. Post yourself once in a blue moon. Plus, that way, when we're all walking around the Rose Bowl, it's like you come up to be like, oh, I'm dog 75 vintage from where. And I'm like, how am I supposed to know that? Because I've never seen your face before because you never posted it on Instagram. Jeez, gosh, people. Okay. So I've ranted about vintage Insta names. I've ranted about people who tax too much. Like, come on, that's crazy. Okay, so back on to taxing too much. Taxing too much is okay if that's your market. If that's your market and you're like, I only sell to like Kanye, whatever. I only sell to Kanye and fucking, I don't know, who else? Lady Gaga, sure. Okay, you can tax. Like, you can have $1,000 t-shirts. So that's your game, $500 to $1,000 t-shirts. But if you're out there at the flea, at some crappy flea, selling like $10, $20, $30 tees, and then you're like, but like these couple grails are like beyond retail, like dumb money. It doesn't make sense. You got to stay in your lane. You got to like either be on like the dumb money side or like the low like Depop side. I mean, we fall victim to this shit too because we do it like at the Rose Bowl. Sure, we have high prices, we have low prices, but even our high prices are still wholesale compared to like the high. So like all I'm saying is like pick your lane. You want to be like the dealer to the stars, or do you want to be the dealer to like the dealer? You can't. It's hard to be both. Okay, this is another friggin' thing that pisses me off about people in vintage biz. Okay, like you go walk around the Rose Bowl and you see the same booths out there time after time. Obviously, people have permanent booths. They're there all the time. And then you go by and like 6 months down the road, you're like, I saw that jacket 6 months ago. The same shit's up on the wall. And then you're like, how much is that? And he's like, it's $600. And then the next month, he's like, yeah, that's $600. The next month, he's like, that's $600. Dude, it's not worth $600. It's been there for 6 months. Nobody's buying it, man. Like, come down in your price. Like, are you attached to that? Like, is that jacket like your child? Like, do you need to keep? Does it make you feel good to like keep that jacket around? Like, are you a collector or are you a dealer? Like, pick what you're gonna be. Like, do you want to sell clothes or do you want to like just have clothes and tell people high prices all the time that they're never gonna pay? That is bad business to me. Pick what you want to do. Do you want to be a dealer or a collector? You can collect stuff and you can sell stuff, but don't put your collection out for dumb prices just for show and then don't sell it because the prices is too dumb. Like, come on. Pick it, flip it, repeat. PFR. Yeah, pick, flip, repeat. There you go. Shout out PFR. That's what you got to do in this business. Okay. This one sucks and it's super annoying. People that think eBay is the Bible of the vintage business. I don't want to swear, but screw eBay. eBay's whack. eBay, sure, I sell on eBay. eBay might make you some money, but eBay does not dictate the final end all prices. Sometimes we can get usually we get way more money not on eBay for certain things, and then certain things that I can't even sell on eBay, I'm selling for great money outside of eBay. So don't think that eBay is gonna like teach you everything you need to know about the vintage biz. It's whack. It's whack when you go around the flea or you go into a store and you go like, I can get that on eBay for whatever. We don't care that you can get that on eBay for whatever. It's stupid. Like every person has their own market and the market dictates what the price is. The price is what someone's willing to pay. That's it. So on eBay, someone's willing to pay a certain price. In a store in Wisconsin, someone's willing to pay a certain price. At the Rose Bowl, someone's willing to pay a certain price. That's it. You got to know your market. You got to know your lane. And don't quote eBay. Even if you're going to use eBay as like your Bible of pricing, don't talk about it. It makes you look whack. Sorry, period, done. I'm considered an old head now, which is crazy. I'm an old head. I'm almost 40. But I've been at the bowl since I was young, since I was like in my 20s, like mid-20s, okay? But I always had a different mentality than most people. The old head mentality is whack. The old head mentality is whack. Bitching about people picking in the bins. Bitching about people hitting the rag houses. Bitching about the new wave of streetwear and vintage and streetwear mixing and people making good money because they know what they're doing better than you old heads don't know what you're doing. That shit is whack. The old head mentality is whack. Move with the times or be a dinosaur and be extinct. This is probably everybody's worst pet peeve in the vintage biz. People that just like the graphic. People that buy rock tees just for the graphic, and they don't know what it is at all. I seen on Instagram a Blind Melon shirt, and someone was like, "Is that Blind Skateboards?" No, it's not. It's Blind Melon. Come on. You probably were born after it came out, but hey. My phone was low battery, but it's still recording. Okay. Personally, I don't give a fuck. You want to buy a shirt for the graphic? Buy a shirt for the graphic. If people weren't buying shirts for the graphics, then we'd all be out of business because not everyone loves these bands we're trying to sell on t-shirts. So I don't even care. That kind of is old head mentality right there. But I could see how it would be most people's pet peeve. Okay. People who think they are the shit because they have good vintage. Okay? I'm going to say something here. That annoys me. Just because you have some material piece of clothing that's cool or worth a lot of money or like the hype piece of the time does not make you special. Does not make you a special picker. Does not make you better than the next guy. Hype vintage and good vintage and big pieces, as we call it, is the easiest thing to sell. It actually makes it, like, if you're only selling like big pieces and high-end vintage and like hype vintage, you're actually not even as good of a businessman. You're actually you're picking the bottom fruit that's like the easiest to pick, and it's the easiest to sell. So really, you're doing way less work because that shit sells itself. So like I just don't have that much respect for people who only sell that. It's like, I respect someone who can go out and find the crap and sell that. Like, that's way harder. Like, if you can go out and find the crap and sell it and make that cool to people, that is what's up. Not being able to sell, like, fucking Nirvana heart-shaped box tee. Anybody can sell that tee. If you find that, anybody can sell it. And if you find a score on eBay for heart-shaped box tee, great. Go buy it and go sell it. That's simple business. But if you can, like, go friggin' find Bazinga t-shirts at the thrift and make those cool and sell those, yo, you're a real G. Like, that's some epic shit, because that stuff is whack. That's why we built Frankie. That's why we do reworks, is we take stuff that isn't that cool and we make it super cool and we sell it. Selling hype stuff, selling big vintage pieces, popular vintage, is super easy. There's nothing to it. But I do respect the hustle. So that's another thing that pisses me off. People who think picking is luck. There is no luck in picking. There is hustle in picking. Luck favors the bold. You gotta be hustling to find vintage. So people who are commenting, like, people find shit and they get good stuff all the time. They're like, oh, you're so lucky. You're like the luckiest picker. Like, yo, you got a horseshoe up your ass. It's like, okay, I get it. It's like, yeah, sometimes luck. But if you're not grinding, if you're not putting yourself in the ring, if you're not, like, shooting shots at goal, you can't score. Period. So, like, those guys who are getting all the goods, who are really out there hustling, are just what I said. They're fucking hustling. And the guys who are bitter because they go to, like, one shitty thrift store a day and not find anything, and they think they just have bad luck and the world's coming down on them, like, that's ridiculous. Huge pet peeve. Luck favors the bold. That's it. Ranting done. There's probably lots more. I didn't even think about this very long. But I want to hear your rants, your biggest pet peeves in the vintage biz in the comments. Please put them in the comments. Let's talk smack. Let's talk shit on people here. Let's do it. Go for it. Go. Follow me on Instagram. Follow the channel.